Hi, I'm Dave, and I'm an ULTRA-MAGA Republican. I'm also a cardiovascular technologist that worked in the medical field for over 30 years. I have 4 children and 8 grandchildren, and I've been fighting for the soul of a nation my whole life. I'm a nonviolent, law-abiding citizen that hasn't had as much as a speeding ticket in 25 years, and I've never been arrested in my adult life. Anyhow, what exactly are the extreme views of an ultra-MAGA Republican? Well, I'm going to tell you. I believe in law and order, and I don't think social workers can replace cops unless they're driving M1 tanks for their own protection. I believe in fair elections, just like they have in almost every country in Europe. Voter ID, no machines, limited mail-in ballots, just like the Jimmy Carter-Jim Baker Commission recommended in 2005. And as far as elections go, let's not forget that the Democrats never accepted Trump's victory in 2016 and probably committed treason while trying to remove him from office his entire 4 years. Not feeling sorry for you, Joe. You're not even 2 years in. I believe in secure borders and immigration. I believe in integrity in our FBI and DOJ. I believe using the FBI and the Department of Justice to attack your political opponents is the stuff of dictatorships. And I believe that the same FBI that lied to a FISA court to spy on candidate and then President Trump would plant evidence to stop Trump from running again in 2024. I don't believe in bigger government, but I do believe the federal government is at least 30 or 40% too big and in need of downsizing. I don't believe in higher taxes, and I do believe that Democrats will probably use the 78,000 new IRS agents to target conservatives, especially small businesses. I don't believe in more spending, and I started sending letters to my U.S. senators and congressmen over 20 years ago asking them to stop taxing my unborn grandchildren and now unborn great-grandchildren. Deficit spending is taxing the unborn, and taxing the unborn is taxation without representation. I believe parents should have a voice in education and that there should be a law against teachers' unions sexualizing children and indoctrinating them to be future voters for the Democratic Party. I also believe, and this one is really unpopular with leftists that want to decrease the global population to 500 million, I believe that killing babies old enough to live outside the womb is murder and not compatible with a civilized society. I do agree with Joe Biden that democracy, or more accurately, our republic, is under assault. But the assault is coming from the left, not the right. The Russian collusion narrative was an attempt to remove a duly elected president. The 2 partisan impeachments were coup attempts 2 and 3. And the censorship and propaganda in the lead up to the 2020 election. The verdict is still out on the election itself, and the truth may never be agreed upon. But let's not forget the Democrats never accepted Trump's 2016 victory. Hearing Biden complain about some Republicans not accepting the results from 2020 is laughable when compared to how Democrats responded in 2016. So easy to forget the violence in multiple cities when the media throws out the videotape of the insurrection. I agree with Biden that America is at an inflection point, and I pray that God would awaken the brainwashed masses. I agree that this is a nation that rejects political violence, but I would argue that 90% of the violence comes from the left and not the right. The right condemns the violence on their side of the political aisle. The left embraces the violence as a tool for their revolution. Maxine Waters telling supporters to go after Trump supporters, Kamala Harris encouraging the 2020 riots to go on until the election, and then she added, even after the election, because it sounded so stupid. The violence directed at Justice Kavanaugh and the failure of the Biden administration to enforce the law to protect justices after the Supreme Court sent Roe v. Wade back to the states where it belongs, that all came from the left. The first thought I had when I saw leftists harassing conservatives in response to Maxine Waters' dog whistles was, who's going to want to run for office as a conservative or be a justice on the courts? But then I realized that a new kind of leader would emerge, patriots who are willing to suffer whatever it takes to defend the country. The violent left is responsible for a new kind of politician, ULTRA-MAGA Republicans. and hopefully coming soon, ultra-MAGA Democrats. I knew Biden would be bad for America, but I never imagined that he could do this much damage this quickly. But working together, we can all make America great again. You know, they have started to call themselves socialists now, but they embrace censorship, propaganda, and intimidation by the FBI and DOJ. And Joe Biden made his Soul of America speech flanked by 2 Marines in a not so subtle threat to those who do not share his values. Socialism plus censorship plus propaganda plus intimidation hardly adds up to what or who Joe Biden claims to be or the political ideology he represents. You know, Joe Biden might make a good dictator, but he is a horrible president. I'm a proud MAGA Republican, and I'm planning on going out and voting in 2022, in 2024, and I ask that you would get out there and you would vote for liberty. You know, the Democrats, they think hedonism is liberty. Liberty is what's actually in the Constitution. So don't forget, get out there and vote. Thanks. Thanks for watching. That all came from the left. That all came from the left. That all came from the left.